Hello, my name is Pranali Shashank and welcome to the show Visionary Minds. Today, I am delighted to introduce our special guest, Miss Swati, an accomplished educator and academic leader with over 12 years of experience in India's CBSE education system. From serving as a mathematics teacher and academic excellence head to beginning a new chapter in United States with the Houston Independent School District. Her journey is one of resilience, leadership, and continuous learning. Today, we will explore her inspiring story and the differences between education in India and US, and her advice for educators and professionals looking to build a career abroad. Could you tell our audience a little about yourself and your journey from Mumbai to United States?
Yes. So I was born in Panvel, Navi Mumbai. I moved to Kolhapur for a few years and then came back to Mumbai. I completed my graduation in Mumbai and I also worked in Mumbai for around 10, 11 years. Um, as a person, let me tell you, I just love traveling. I love trying different cuisines. I love to learn different beautiful words which make your language and your thoughts appear more impactful or beautiful. So these are few things about myself.
That's so sweet and nice. Yeah. So, your career has been centered on education, leadership, and teacher development. So, what inspired you for this journey?
So I started with a very small assignment, and when I entered that assignment or that position, that journey actually transformed me. I just felt that yes, this is where I can come up with the best of my thoughts, my ideas, and I also realized that I have a good potential and I have a good skill as far as communication is considered.
Mhm.
So I just took hold of my opportunities and I tried and tried to grow, tried to learn new things. And that is how I first started teaching, then became the academic leader, served as HR for a few years.
Oh, and you have often spoken about empowering teachers. What does teacher empowerment look like in practice?
Yes, so Pranali, if you see the Indian education system, you would see most of the times when it comes to teachers or when you're communicating to teacher, it's like we are talking about their responsibilities, what we expect from them. But it's not about giving them the responsibilities, but giving enough opportunities to explore, having trust in them, being approachable to give enough ideas and enough um, guidelines so that they could try something new, they could experiment something new and come up with the best of the results. So I feel that rather than just giving the responsibilities, also defining a proper framework wherein they can explore and try different things is what is needed, and that way we can empower the teachers.
Yeah. And in this entire thing, what do you feel that how has technology changed classrooms over the past decade and where do you see education heading?
So I would say yes, tech has changed a lot. Initially, the classrooms were the place where the information was just delivered. But
Yes.
now, if you would see, there's AI, there's virtual simulation, which makes teaching math and science really very easy. You can bring different elements of different parts of the world into the classroom and make it more realistic. However, though tech has changed a lot, improved education system a lot, opened new doors for teachers to explore and make students believe in whatever is being taught or is in the textbooks. I feel that it doesn't replace the teachers for sure. It amplifies their teaching 100%.
Yes, definitely. So, moving to another country is never easy. I would like to know how did you end up here and what was your biggest challenge after arriving in US?
Okay, so it was like it wasn't a plan which I actually designed myself. So it just happened. My husband first moved here for his research, and then I got an opportunity here, and I moved in. The biggest challenges I would say is navigating the US education system because it is really very different from what we have in India. So, identifying what paths should I follow, what can help me, how to get my Indian degrees, transcripts evaluated here, and how to go about the process. So, that was the major challenge. And of course, then exploring the US culture here, understanding what it means to be a teacher here were a few of challenges, but also the very interesting parts of my journey from India to US.
And what's the significant difference between the Indian and American education system you have observed so far?
So yes, Indian system. I would say there are pros from both the systems. So Indian
Mm-hmm.
system is more like wherein foundation or academic foundation becomes stronger and discipline is inculcated from the very young age. American system is more about students being able to express themselves in the best possible way, having more of collaboration and critical thinking. So there are pros of both the systems. The next major thing which I observed is different is in Indian system the feedback systems are not very transparent, but in USA the feedback systems are very. I mean the anonymity is maintained and the transparency of the entire feedback structure or feedback system is maintained. So that leads to a very constructive criticism that paves way for someone to improve themselves in their work. That is what I feel.
Do you feel feedback is really important here?
Yes, feedback is very important. Sometimes, in our head, we are clear that, okay, we are trying to do our best. We are being very creative. We plan a lot. We are very enthusiastic about our processes. But let me tell you, every process, every teaching, every classroom delivery uh, depends also upon how the outcomes are, how optimized it is, whether what you were trying to give to the students or trying to teach the students, is it actually happening or is just about what you feel is happening in your head. So feedback systems helps to understand whether the outcomes are made possible through whatever you have planned. Feedback systems help you to improve. Feedback systems will let you know which are the areas wherein you have to work so that you become stronger in your field.
I feel that is very, very crucial thing.
Yes. And anonymity, that is very important. So here the feedback systems are very clear. Like no one would know that who has written what. And that's why people are very free to give their feedback, very transparent. And even the person who is receiving is more concerned about what the feedbacks are and okay, very excited about what the feedbacks are and where I have to work, which are the good areas, which are my qualities, which are my areas wherein I have to work a little more. So yes.
So having critics is very important, and
Very,
that is
very
what US shows that feedbacks are really important, and along with
yes,
anonymity.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You have hosted prestigious events, including the 42nd National Team Chess Championship. So, how has public speaking helped your this professional journey?
So, as I said, that communication and learning good words, new words to make my language beautiful is one of my hobbies. So, yes, communication helped me present my ideas more confidently. I was able to grab more opportunities just because I had good communication skills. As I had good communication, I had good connection with my students, with my team members. I was able to connect with them, motivate them as well. I was able to have good communication and engagement even of the students parents. That way the entire system was very much accessible to me because I had good communications and I was able to convey myself in the best possible way. So yes, communication helped me explore more opportunities, grab more opportunities for sure.
Definitely. And while you were working with the US schools, what's one important thing that has surprised you the most?
Yeah, as I said, feedback for sure. The next thing is the freedom of expression. That
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most surprising thing. Like the students are free to express themselves in the way they dress up, in the way they plan or what do we say, Des- design or even their hairstyles are what they want it to be. I mean, it's not the school who decides that how the hairstyle should be, how the uniformity should be, but they are free to express themselves in different ways. So
Like we have come from the convent schools, we were not supposed to wear a certain kind of earrings, or we had to tie the ribbons, no grown nails. So is this anything here?
let me tell you, it differs from public schools, charter schools. I mean, it differs from schools, type of schools, to different type of schools here for sure. So public schools will have different things, and charter schools may have a little stricter environment. But yes, the students here have the, the freedom to experiment with their nail colors as well, their hair colors, and the way they dress. So there's nothing like two ponytails and pleats in for girls, or a specific hairstyle for the boys. So yeah, though it differs for public, charter, private schools, but yeah, that is one thing.
That's something very interesting,
Yes, yes.
which India would definitely miss.
Yes,
Yeah.
so though I feel that even Indian education system has this system so that students should feel that uniformity, students should feel that they are a part of one group. But yes, in America, it's more about a better expression. I mean, the students are allowed to express themselves in best possible way.
How important is adapting to the new work culture when moving abroad?
Yes. So adapting, like as a teacher, I'll have to be really relatable to my students. If I'm not relatable, maybe my teaching will not be as optimized it should be, as efficient it should be. So adapting doesn't mean I need to change myself, but it really means that I learn the culture here, the American culture, or how the people talk, or how do they express themselves. So that way I become more relatable. And of course, empathy is one of the very important qualities which a teacher should have. So once I adapt to this culture, I'll be able to relate and empath more with the students, and that will help me grow here.
Yeah, definitely. Many teachers from India dream of working in America. What advice would you give them?
So for teachers who are in India and planning to come to USA as a teacher, I would say that it's competitive. It's highly competitive, very competitive, but it's achievable. So I would tell them that they have to have a good knowledge about their subject. That is one of the most important and major requirements. Second is at least or a minimum of 2 years of teaching experience. Third is they should be eligible to apply through teacher exchange programs. And yes, they should constantly keep on improving themselves, learning new skills, so that they can be a step ahead or have more qualities if in case they are a part of any selection process.
So minimum of 2 years experience is
Is
mandatory.
required, is required.
Okay, I see. And what are some of the common misconceptions people have about American schools or working in American schools?
Okay, so I'll not say misconceptions. So the one thing which we say that these are very, very, very different. As a teacher, if you are in India, it's different here. It's very different. Let me tell you, most of the things are similar. As a teacher, I still have to have the same mindset. I still have to be very open to different type of learners in school. I still have to be very much aware of what how the curriculum is impacting my students. I have to be very much aware of the changing systems and upgrade and update myself regularly. So teachers in India do feel that maybe in the USA the systems are a little in favor of teachers or something like that. But let me tell you, just as in India, the system is student centered. Even in USA, the system is student centered, and that is how any education system in the entire world should be designed. It should be student centric, for sure.
Definitely, because that is what is the goal of
Yes, we
any
should.
institution.
Yes, we should be inclusive. We should be able to understand and identify and work towards multiple intelligences and the students who have disabilities. So, this inclusive education too should be a very important part of the education system.
We are sitting and talking this thing of education here, and we know what is happening in our country out there, and
Yes,
that is so terrible. I hope that becomes successful.
yes. Yes. So in that case, I would say that I mean this is a good thing. I mean, the youth of the country is becoming more aware of what they should actually demand. And I hope that whatever the demands are, they are understood in the exact way, the way as the origin is. I mean, there shouldn't be any elements of, a kind of a mixture of other things and the other political elements. It should just be about the education system and the best possible outcomes for the youth of our country in terms of education system. Let's see what happens over
Everyone
the
is
next.
becoming aware of their rights, and that is something very important. I am like just surprised. 6-year boy also knows why he has come there. And 85-year woman travels like 700 kilometers and she also knows why she is there. And that is the beauty of the nation.
Yes. For
So,
sure, Pranali, if I would have, I mean, we normally say education system is the building block or the backbone of any nation. Yes, it is. That defines how the nation will be seen in the coming years. How can it become a global power or not? And for a nation to become a global power, empowering the youth in the best possible way through the education system is important. So let's see what happens.
talking about empowerment is of no use until and unless you provide them with education. Today, we are able to sit and talk with each other. We are doing certain job. We are getting paid because we are educated. We have got that right. What about people who are never getting the chances? So it's very important to think in that way. Who are not even getting a chance to get the education. It's the basic right. No one should even fight for that, and
Yes,
I feel really bad for that actually.
no, it's actually that way. Basic right, and it should come in the purest form.
Yeah,
Though we have, we had NEP 2020, there were lot many positive changes, interesting changes in the system. Though it's supposed to be executed in its most original form, I don't feel that many schools are able to understand the exact process and the exact execution way. So I recently also dropped a video wherein I talked about many schools who never have this safety drills or anything. Even that is one thing, very different in America. Like student safety and the working staff safety is one of the first things which you learn when you enter any organization. So in India, there are things which are missing, but India is still a very powerful country as far as edu. We are the outcome of that
yeah,
system for
definitely
sure.
that
So
is
we
true.
have, yes.
So, what should newcomers expect during their initial days in US education system?
Okay. The learning curve. I mean, they are going to be, they'll have to be curious, but they are going to be surprised, shocked, sometimes overwhelmed. They may be nervous sometimes. But yes, with every passing day, every passing opportunity, every passing interaction, they will learn a lot. So, what they can expect is a lot of questions, lot of confusion, but a lot of learning, a lot of exploration, a lot of perspectives. That is what they can expect as a
Okay.
new teacher in USA.
You have worked in different cultures and education systems. Which leadership qualities are universal, do you feel? And any message do you have for these coordinators, HODs, or academic leaders?
Universal, universally, the qualities I would say is empathy. I mean, that is the first thing, which also includes EQ. Then I would say you should be honest for sure. Your integrity is very, very important. You yourself should be a good learner. You should always be curious. You cannot just reach a particular position and say, okay, I'm done. I know everything about everything around me. So they should always be a very good learner, a good listener, and they should be approachable. These are the few qualities which I feel are very, very important as leaders.
Yeah, that is very true. Honesty is one of the most important things about this. Yeah. My next question to you is, who has been your favorite teacher and what made them such a lasting influence on your life?
So there have been many, but if I would say one, it would be Professor Lekha Das. She was the one whom I felt very connected with, very helpful, genuine, very genuine person. Uh, so that is what I feel one of the teachers whom I'll always remember, and I will have a lot of gratitude for. My mom, for sure, she was a teacher until 2023. So she is the one who said how a teacher's vision, her integrity impacts a student's life. So you have to be very, very careful. My father, who was the first person to say that, you know what, Swati, you if you ever become a teacher, you are going to be a very, very good teacher. He always used to say that, because I used to take small study lessons for my brother, for my sister, and somehow he identified that.
Fathers always like they know the spark what the girl has. Yeah.
And you know what? Like, not many people have this fortune. I was very lucky to have a mentor who was also my reporting manager, the principal, Mrs. Kavita Singh. So she was the one, she brought a lot of challenges and also helped me overcome those challenges, learn a lot. And she supported me a lot. And her vision and her thought process about the education system or educational leadership actually changed and improved me a lot. That is what I'd like to say. And
The
you know what,
repeated.
Pranali, there is one quote which I'll never forget. So during one interaction with one of the management members, Sri Vijay Kohli uh, of the school, he said, we were talking about an instance, and he just said this one sentence that this shall depend upon the principle of natural justice. So that is something which I never forget. So if I'm taking any decisions, if I'm planning to give out some final answers regarding certain situations in my journey as a teacher or education leader, I'll always remember the prince that you should work on the principle of natural justice. So
True.
yes.
What is that one message you would like to leave for your students?
Okay. So I would say that, dear students, you are actually in a very good time wherein you are very close to all the tech. You have all the information, whatever information related to whatever topic, you have it on your phone, on your laptop, directly available to you. So I would say ask a lot of questions, be curious, accept the challenges. Without challenges, anyways, you're not going to grow. So if you have more the number of challenges, remember you'll be achieving greater in your life. So that is one thing. And yes, that's it. Just ask more questions, be curious, learn from
Well,
challenges.
Swati, yeah. Thank you so much for this important and valuable information. It was definitely worth talking with you about the education, and I know that you are the best teacher and you will be the best teacher ahead as well. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Pranali. So, yes, I was lucky enough to work in an organization which celebrated good ideas, and I'm here in USA, which also celebrates good ideas. So, yes, I'll try to learn, grow, and any teachers who need any guidance, I would like to help them through my journey. Whatever I have researched in during my journey, I'd like to help them so they can connect with me on my
So if
educator.
anyone wants to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
The best possible way is to DM me on Educator with an Edge on Instagram. That is the best possible way to connect with me.
Okay.
They can just drop their questions. I'll be able to reach out whenever I'm free. I have enough time and enough information about their queries.
Definitely.